The policies dictating modern life are engineered behind closed doors by unelected architects, far removed from the ballot box. We navigate a landscape of grocery aisles, banking apps, and healthcare providers, moving through what feels like a marketplace of thousands of independent choices. Tracing the capital and institutional roots of these sectors reveals a different story, one where the branches of every major industry quickly converge into a single, concentrated monopoly. This entire infrastructure was built by four specific dynasties: Rothschild, Rockefeller, Morgan, and DuPont. These families constructed the invisible walls of the modern world, ensuring our daily routines flow through the exact channels they designed. The first pillar rose in 18th century Frankfurt. Mayor Amschel Rothschild sent his 5 sons to different European capitals, creating an international intelligence network that allowed them to front-run the financial markets during the bloody and chaotic Napoleonic Wars. Their core strategy relied on sovereign lending. When a nation faced the massive costs of war or economic collapse, the Rothschilds provided the necessary capital at a price. This visualization shows capital flowing from private banks to multiple sovereign nations. By becoming primary creditors, they architected central banking systems. This debt gives the network direct leverage over national policy. The nation's agenda becomes subservient to its creditors. Control of a nation's money supply renders its political laws irrelevant. While the Rothschilds cornered debt, John D. Rockefeller was monopolizing energy. By 1880, his Standard Oil Company controlled 90% of all oil refining in the United States. He then turned his focus to human biology. In 1910, Rockefeller funded the Flexner Report, a document that would redefine American medical education. Following the report, over 160 medical schools were closed. These schools focused on natural, herbal, or homeopathic practices that couldn't be patented. Only schools that adopted a pharmaceutical-based curriculum received Rockefeller funding. At the time, Rockefeller held significant interests in the chemical companies manufacturing those exact drugs. By funding only drug-based research, Rockefeller ensured that the chemical treatment of patients would directly enrich his industrial interests for the next century. In the financial sector, J. Pierpont Morgan developed Morganization. He specialized in purchasing failing businesses, restructuring them, and consolidating them into massive, stable megacorporations. His power was confirmed during the Panic of 1907. With the stock market crashing, Morgan personally orchestrated a $25 million bailout from his private library, single-handedly stopping a national collapse. This manufactured reliance on a private citizen led directly to the creation of the Federal Reserve in 1913, a system designed by Morgan-linked bankers to institutionalize their role as the nation's lender of last resort. Today, this legacy of consolidation is embodied by BlackRock. Managed by Larry Fink, the firm oversees $10 trillion in assets, roughly 40% of the total U.S. GDP. BlackRock is currently the top shareholder in nearly every major American corporation, from Apple and Microsoft to Lockheed Martin and Pfizer. Systemic control isn't about winning against competitors, it's about owning the entire competitive board. The fourth pillar is built on the materials of force. The DuPont family established their first gunpowder mill in 1802, eventually supplying 40% of all the gunpowder used by the Union forces during the incredibly bloody Civil War. This relationship with the military expanded through both World Wars and the Manhattan Project. By the mid-20th century, DuPont was the primary supplier of the explosives and chemicals that fueled American global power. Their focus has since shifted to chemical necessity. Through GMO seeds and PFAS forever chemicals, now found in the blood of 97% of Americans, they have established control over the physical inputs of daily life. By monopolizing the chemicals in our food, clothing, and weapons, they established a power that is impossible to opt out of. It is easy to view these 4 dynasties, money, health, markets, and weapons, as distinct empires operating in isolation. These pillars function as a coordinated network, sharing board seats and overlapping investments to drive a unified global agenda. This coordination is maintained through institutions like the Council on Foreign Relations, the Bilderberg Group, and the Trilateral Commission. Private forums where the world's financial elite align national policies. These interests converge at the World Economic Forum, where combined wealth is used to dictate the future of global governance, health, and economics. True power does not campaign for votes. It builds the architecture that politicians and citizens must rely on to survive.